first of all, that itself is a misnomer. When we say misnomer means what? What we are trying to convey is this, that this particular act is a central act, and we are talking about an incidence which is taking, an activity which is taking intrastate. So constitutionally also, this particular act would never govern the trade and commerce being conducted in a state. So that's one focal point which we are missing. Secondly, just to add to what Mr. Sengupta and Chavi has just said, that this particular aspect of quick and easy money incidental to recruitment is the offence, which has been interpreted by the Supreme Court time and again. At least there are 3 judgments of the Supreme Court on issues as to when PCMC would get attracted and would translate itself into a cognizable case. It is not that a conductor of an investigator or a regulator would determine whether that particular offence has been committed or not. So all I am trying to tell you is this, that A, this PCMC Act is a central statute. Central statute can never govern and can never come into the domain of an intrastate trade and commerce, which these direct marketing companies are involved into. Secondly, the offence. What is an offence under the PCMC Act, which we are talking about repeatedly? The offence is not of making quick and easy money. Please appreciate this point. That offence is not of making quick and easy money. The offence is that you would not incentivize anybody on recruitment, directly or indirectly. So that particular aspect of the offence has been left out by the regulators. And just to answer your question, which you had been asking to the chairperson, that for past 20 years, what have we not been able to convey to the government or anything? Till, as far as my knowledge goes, there has not been even a single conviction. There has not been even a single sentence against any direct selling company. What has happened is this, that we all know the jurisprudence, that somebody alleges a particular offence, a case is registered, case is investigated, police takes a case to a logical conclusion, and then the judiciary takes over. Now, when it comes to the test of the judiciary, none of the courts have found that a reputed direct selling company has been involved in an offence which is governed by PCMC, and not even in the case of Amway also. I am conscious of a judgment passed by the Honorable Andhra Pradesh High Court, but there also the court has not decided anything as yet. What the court has said is that the matters are being investigated, let the matters be investigated and taken to the logical conclusion. So as an industry body, IDSA has been conveying the concerns of the industry to the regulator, both at the central government level and at the state government level, and trying to put across the industry's viewpoint. It is sub judice, I would not be able to comment on it. But yes, on the first principles, let me answer this. That again, I am going back to the basic nuances of our jurisprudence. If I have a grievance against you and I lodge a complaint, police, the law which is I'm talking purely theoretical. The police, on a receipt of a cognizable complaint, would register an FIR. The duty officer has not to apply his mind about whether the cognizable case could have been committed also or not. He should enter into his register and start investigating. And if he finds something not proper, then he can file a complaint against the person who is informing him vexatiously, right? So this is the law. Now look at the predicament of the person who is an accused. Now suppose I am an accused. A person comes and files an FIR in Hyderabad, says this thing that Mr. Shukla has committed this particular forgery. He has taken 10 crore rupees from me, right? The police officer, what option does he has? He has to register the FIR. Then the police officer travels to Delhi, picks me up, brings me back to Hyderabad, investigates, and in that process, would you say that Mr. Shukla has committed a forgery? I'm just putting a question to you. Now this is exactly what is happening to Amway today. Now I don't know exactly what their FIR is. Let me caveat this statement by saying this thing. I don't know what their FIR is. I don't know what the complaint is. All I can say as a student of law, that today the matter is being only investigated. We should not jump the gun. We should not come to a conclusion that something wrong would have happened. That is why this has happened. Because ultimately, sir, the statistics in the criminal jurisprudence has been that FIRs, 98% FIRs have not translated themselves into a conviction.